Yes, good morning, fellow Gambians and my colleagues in the struggle. Well, the one of the guys called me to say, you know, UDP is this and that. You people, you should come and join us. We support Adam Barrow and the like. Well, I thought over it and I pondered several occasions. I said to him, I will call you back. And within the blinking of an eye, he called me back again. But I heard some noise behind, the noise which are very familiar, but I don't want to go into the details. He asked me again, Mister, we heard about you. You are such so and so and so. It was like a praise singing for me, praise singing me, telling me all what he thinks I am. Well, maybe he was exaggerating, I don't know, but then that's the nature of human beings. When they want to coax you into something else, they try to give you sugar-coated words. But I give a damn to that. I want to respond to him that I am not that type of person. I don't want to name names here. But I can start classical examples. The struggle we have done for this country, the Gambia of ours, where you are enjoying today, and you are serving in fact, you holding a very senior responsibility in that country. And people count on you. Your people, my people, and the people of the people count on you. The orphans, the widows, the elderly and the youngs all count on you people because they think that you are there to sacrifice and then help them. But if you are there eating the cake and you don't want to share it with people, that is a very bad thing. Well, personally, what I think is I am not carried by materials. I'm not carried by words like that. I am carried by principles. And I will tell you one thing, and this is me. I'm Nyabally, and I don't try saying whatever I want to say because I feel whatever I want to say, I will say it. I don't care what people think about me. What is right is what I would say. You see, I personally and my comrades, we fought better and more than Adam Barrow that you are serving today in this country, the Gambia of ours. We fought more than Adam Barrow. I will tell you, where was Adam Barrow when we were in the struggle in the early part of the 1995? When Yajame seized the power, the first year, 94 turns into 95. I think Babukar Sankano is in your administration. He might hear me, and I'm sure he would remember what I'm coming to say here. Babukar Sankano was reporting for BBC on the Ibrahim Sankare. He reported to BBC that Serekunda Makere was born because of negligence and so on and so on. So he blamed the government, the junta government. He was arrested. That was my high days in the school. Babukar was in nothing form 4 or so when I was in 6th form. You see, I went to the principal and told him, look, this has happened, and I don't think we have to sit down and wait this to happen like that because these are military. We all know military governments. We studied it and then we know how they operate. So we have to do something about it. He said, Alaji, this is military government. You have to be very careful. They can do whatever they want to do, and they can go to any extra mile to do whatever they want to do, and they will go scot-free. I contacted my colleagues. During break time, it was around 11 o'clock, Nusrat High School time. Pasware, those who went to Nusrat High School would know him. He was at the gate. We came. We cox, he doesn't. The young boys pulled the gate, and the gate fell down, and then students went out. Going towards Talindi Highway, Talindi Mosque, we got the information that Babukar Sankano was released. We are going to be the first students and the first school to lead a demonstration against the military junta in that country. We went out. We started it, but thank God, things were averted. I am sure the intelligence officers would hear me. Most of them were my colleagues. Some were my students. Today, I stand to say this very outright in the midst of the public that Adam Barrow actually fought for the Gambia, but he fought less, and people fought greater than him. Those of you surfing around Adam Barrow, when did you come to know Adam Barrow? When did you come to know him? Calling me and talking to me to support the government is your hearty desire. But don't tell me join him because UDP is this, because I know UDP is the most principled political party in the country that can save this country. That is my belief, and that's what I believe, because the leadership cadre in that UDP are intelligent and are smart enough, and they have the country at heart. Adam Barrow, I'm not saying you don't have the country at heart, you have the country at heart, but the people around you, your circular, now they call it Kabudu, I don't know. These are your enemies, Mr. President. They think you are not educated. You think like a he-goat, so they want to monopolize you and use you as a robber, and then use you to, just like a child in a playing a mode, using you as a doormat. So I think that is not correct for one to use the president, because the president is less educated than you, and you want to use your intelligence over him, and then coax and mold him into a block that you want. That is what most NPP people are doing today. You have some cohorts of APRC who have joined, and you have some political parties, they are vibrant people who are joining the NPP because they have been calling each other on the ground. Oh, say, look, come and enjoy, this man is this. Adam Barrow, let me tell you, they said you are a fool. This is the message that is put across, that you are a fool, don't do anything, come and enjoy, boy, before you go. People told me, ito ko ibira fore akante kang. CJ ira fore akante jeto. People used to tell me, ito ko CJ ko APA UDP going, but UDP government, Dabo was there, this one was there, what have they done? I said to them, look, Dabo is not an individual, Dabo is a group. Because if Dabo were somebody who is material-minded, a professor and constitutional lawyer for that matter, a criminal lawyer for that matter, who can defend and he can survive, he wouldn't have taken risk to save this, to attack Yahya Jammeh. He was the only political leader in that country who was facing Yahya Jammeh, telling him the truth that he was campaigning vigorously against Yahya Jammeh. A brutal dictator for that matter, in the sub-region. He can kill if he wants to kill. He can arrest if he wants to arrest. He can imprison if he wants to imprison. He was in charge of the prisons. He was in charge of the every institution in the country. Even Islam, and except Christianity. He owned Islam in the Gambia. Whatever he says is what was happening in the Gambia. Where were you people? When the Gambia Students Union, Omar Juf, Alaji S. Dabo, and host of Senebu Gay, you can't, Alaji Kamara, you can't, this encyclopedia of names that if you want to mention here, you cannot finish it. Fatou Ceesay, Ibrahim Adibas, we fought against Yahya Jammeh. We fought against Yahya Jammeh because of his brutal dictatorship. 14 unarmed students were killed. At the end, became a letter of blatant killing of people, and at the end, the law becomes. There was no law in the Gambia. There was force, what you call degree, in that country. Until Yahya Jammeh left in 2016, there was degree, not laws in the Gambia. If there were laws, the laws would have been acting, but no law was acting in that country. Judiciary was paralyzed and ambushed. The political scenario was buried. The economy was skyrocketing, but Yahya Jammeh was the only thief in that country. Am I wrong, comrades? Now let's go back, let's make a flashback. In 2000, when we went on demonstration in the Gambia, people labeled us as rebels, people labeled us as criminals, we are anti-terrorist. Yes, those are psychophancy thinking, that people think that we were rebellious to the state. But no, we are fighting for the Gambia that we want today. We are fighting for the Gambia that we want to have in this country. A government, a stable, respectable, dignified government. But what happens? Psychophants and egocentric people molded, went around the president. Yahya Jammeh came with a very good heart. But at the end, what happens? A pit was dug, and he was dug inside the dug. And he was dug there. So it became a pity for him. He has gone. Some of his surrogates followed him, and they are back to the Gambia. And some of those people, I'm coming now to the classical story that I want to tell you, comrades. You see, after the elections of 2016, the very people who stood on national television said Adama Barrow will not be sworn in that country of ours. We have rejected the validity of the elections, where over hundreds of thousands of people voted against one man. You stood on national television and said, we are not going to accept it. We don't even accept it. We denounce the elections. On national TV, this was a state minister. You see, I never want to mention Sidinjai's name in my deliberations, because when I used to know him, Sidinjai was a very calm, timid, and gentle young student. I did not teach him per se directly, but he was one of the students I taught. One of the students I taught in that very school of ours, our alma mater, Nusrat High School. Sidinjai was my student. Sidi was timid, respectful, and obedient, but he's very crafty. Whatever he wants to get, he will bite and blow until he reaches there. That is Sidinjai. The likes of Bamba Khan were very instrumental, educated, and they were just okay. Bamba Khan, I think he was one of the first leaders of NAPSA, National Patriotic Student Association, that they call it. You had a lot of students there. But Sidi was the only guy who was so, he was rabbitry, that he uses intelligence on people. He became the first student to be nominated in the House of Parliament. Why? Because he was a bootlicker to Yajame. Yes, if you want the person to serve you, to give you something, you have to be a bootlicker to him. But that must be a class with the constitution. There must be a fight, a choke between the two, the interest and constitution. And Sidi had to go for interest. Sidinjai was a good guy when I used to know him. But the day Sidinjai stood on national TV and said, we denounce the election results and we don't want it, and we will redo the election, and so on, so on, so on. I was flabbergasted, astonished, surprised, dismayed. What happened? When the ECOWAS and African Union decided, UN decided, African Union was instructed, ECOWAS was alerted. And when they listened to the Gambia, Yajame had to leave the Gambia. Sidi followed him. What happened next? Sidi had to come back. After having a lot of discussions, series of discussions with Yajame, he had to come back. Do you know Sidinjai must come with a mission? Yes, Sidinjai came with a mission. If you don't travel, you don't know. And if you don't mix, you don't know. And you will not know until you are told. But if you are told, you say it's a blind story. Until the story happens, makes itself a history. And then they would know, say, oh wow, it was told. Exactly like Panderimbai was saying about the Gambia. All what he had been saying, people said, this is lie, this man is criminal. He could not come to Gambia. But he has proven to the Gambians what he had been saying. Today, the TRC that came to power, that was instituted, all what they have said, nothing absolutely new was said in TRC that was not mentioned in Freedom newspaper. It was not there. And the people involved in all those sagas, Pandari said their names and the Freedom newspaper. Where are they today? They were faced by the commission, TRRC, and then what happens at the end? Panderimbai was proven right, was vindicated. We move from there. The Deputy Speaker, Sidinjai, is on a mission. What mission? He knows better. He was my former student and very respectful. I have that respect for him. That's why I hardly mention Sidinjai in my talk. In fact, I don't think I have ever mentioned Sidinjai in my talk. No. Since 2016, up to date, I have never mentioned Sidinjai in my audios. Today, I am saying it in my video because somebody called me who is a diplomat and is a very senior officer in the Gambia, and I don't want to mention names, but I think my colleagues who used to come to my house would know whom I'm talking about. Tombonjata, Fabaka Tombonjata, when he used to wear slippers, we call it sandals or whatever, moving from Talinding to Bundung, where I had my internet cafe. Exactly, I had my internet cafe in the compound of his eldest brother, the late Mr. Jata. May Allah have mercy on his soul. His twins, Hussein and Hassan, great boys with courageous character. Their mother, great woman of substance. I rented in that compound. I had my internet cafe there. I forgot to mention, when the brother died, he inherited the brother's wife. Fabakar was my good friend, what you call traditional Nakeba Kendeba, but he doesn't remember me now, I guess, maybe because of old age. When he comes and lie on that veranda, under that mango tree in that compound, near the well, I will come and stand by him and greet him, say, Sir, in Mbara, and he'll say, hey, Nyabally, in Mbara. We chat a little bit and I got back to my internet cafe. This is how this man was. This man was there and he was my friend. We were talking about Yaya Jammeh when he was in the system. We were talking about Yaya Jammeh. I think that, in fact, I think he might have, before he became my auntie, that he was my auntie at that time. That was 2003, 2004. I'm talking about history now. It was 2005 or so, 2005, 2006, 2004, 5, 6, range of that period. When the brother died, he inherited the brother's wife and he was coming there, you know. We were chatting, talking bad about Yaya Jammeh. In fact, not bad, talking good about Yaya Jammeh because that was his character. It was bad if Yaya Jammeh had heard that he was going to bury us alive, but he was in the system. Okay, this man is the brutal dictator, no market, you know, but you want to help somebody who is a dictator? You don't, you're helping him. You are aiding and abetting him. You are helping him. There was time until when I traveled to Swiss, I came. The internet cafe I had, it was a very internet cafe that some students were used against me. Part of NAPSA, National Patriotic Student Association. They were spying on me with the National Intelligence Officers. The then Director of Operations and his operatives used to mount almost 24-hour security facing my internet cafe. I knew all. I had a friend who was called Carlo Jabate. I call him Carlo. He used to be with me. Until Neil Magdul J herself had to come to my internet cafe, had to come to me, to plead to me, to work with the government. They were telling me, boy, Nyabally, take it, work with him. Yaya Jammeh likes you and this. I went to, when I was not very, that way I have maximum respect. I don't want to discuss with him most of it because, you know, as student leaders, if you go there, discuss, they will think that he's the one behind the students. So I went to OJ, so position B. This man will dump you and then at the end you have everlasting enemies. I pay heed to it. Ibrahim Diba, we were together. He used to come to my cafe when he was going to high school. Ibrahim Diba. When he comes there, we talk about the government, we talk about future. He would tell me, Muse, you are a leader. Muse, I'm a leader. Muse, we have to make sure that democracy stands in this country. Muse, we don't have to take anything from this government. We are invited to the Ministry of Education. NIS were there. I have the list up to now. That memo and that the minutes are with me here where I am. It's sometimes bad and to see how people behave in that country. We were in the struggle. Nothing was better for the students. Our subvention was seized by the government, Yaya Jammeh's government. We transcended to ADAMA BARROW. Worst. You see, ADAMA BARROW did not fight for the Gambia. He did not. He just got the presidency in a silver platter. Or what do you call it, on a silver platter. You know why? It came to him like a cooked rice, a cooked food. He doesn't value how he got it. If Yaya Jammeh had valued the presidency, But Adama Barrow doesn't value it. That's why he's trying to play with the intelligence of Gambians. And those around him, the little and better educated ones, are using him. I think it is very unfair for Adama Barrow and his cohorts, his surrogates, to be misusing, abusing our state resources to their expedience, which I think is not fair. Adama Barrow is my brother. Adama is my brother, is my uncle. Adama is my brother, is my brother. I don't want to go into family relationships because the moment I mention that one, people will start calling me, telling me certain things. I don't want family to be involved in this thing. This is me personally. Those of you around Adama Barrow, I know Adama Barrow more than most of you. We have a long family relationship. Equally, Dabo, we have a strong, long relationship. I am not going to that. Both of them would know what I'm talking about. You see why I detest Adama Barrow? Because Adama Barrow is somebody who is a nice guy, but he doesn't listen. When he listens here, it comes out here. Whoever sits behind in front of him and talk to him, that's the one he takes. If you leave, you go with your words. Someone comes again and sit down and talk to him. When you talk to him, you ready, you go with your words. But when you're talking to him, he looks at you into your eyes, gazing at you, thinking that he's understanding you. He's not understanding, he's just hearing the noise, not understanding what you are saying. As you are talking, he is thinking. So he doesn't understand what you are saying. That's why I said Adama Barrow could have been a very good president if he had listened to people, if he had not sacked those people like Loya Dabo, Amadou Sane, Lamin Diba, and host of others, Ibrahim Dibas and the like. These were the people who were going to help him, but he sees that they were helping him, and those sycophants whose sugar was retrieved from them, whose milk was retrieved from them, whose money was retrieved from them, from their mouths, when they are sucking, they said to President Adama Barrow, look, this guy wants to betray you. And they started playing with the intelligence of Adama Barrow. And presidency, if you are a president, somebody comes and tells you, this man wants your seat. Then you have put the person in trouble. This is how they put Adama Barrow in trouble. Tom Manjata is a wicked Speaker of the House of Parliament. Sidin Jai is egocentric and has a mission. And you see, Ibrahim Sankare, who is I think they call it PRO, communication officer, or what. Ibrahim Sankare, he came with a very big power. With very big power, he wanted to control the state. Ibrahim's thing started falling apart far back in 2021. The secret behind that, I'm not going to that. It came a time, it was very hard for Ibrahim Sankare. He was going to be sacrificed, but no. They said he's a fool, so they told President, he's a fool, you are a fool. So tribalism came into our politics. Hamad Ba, the most useless, the most cantankerous, in fact, the least educated minister in that country is Hamad Ba. Very unprofessional, very little in thinking. He has a very small memory. I think he has megabytes. He doesn't even have gigabytes. Hamad Ba has megabytes. He doesn't have gigabytes. You have one or two ministers there who have terabytes. They have terabytes. Their thinking memory is very high. I don't want to mention names here. If Loya Dabo, Amadou Sane, Mr. Diba were there, I was going to say these are the people who have terabytes. The memory of terabytes. Unexhaustible. He also mentioned who have gigabytes. But Hamad Ba has megabytes. Less memory. Cantankerous. Not respectful. Not diplomatic at all. So Adama Barrow is keeping such people in his government. For what reasons? My father came. He played his cards like a cat in Adama Barrow's system. Instead of using government properties in Banjul, you know what he did? He went to hire a very big villa and transferred the Ministry of Interior to that place. At his own experience, his own interest. The rent was discussed and finalized before the commission members, before the coalition members would have approved it. It was approved by ADAMA BARROW. My party is cheeky, uneducated, but smart. Very smart guy. But he has no education. He speaks fluent English, good English. But he is not educated. He's not educated. Dr. Samade is a nice guy. Small boy. Dr. Samade is a small boy. He is very young. He's one of the youngest ministers in the Barrow's government. Don't look at him as with his plumpiness or his big body like an elephant. No. He is one of the youngest ministers. Just perhaps he is of the same age as Bakari Baji. Yes. Dr. Samade. Very intelligent, knows his job, professional, diplomatic, educated. He now becomes a toilet paper in the Ministry of Health. Just like what Dr. Mbo did. Dr. Mbo had sacrificed all his intelligence and in education just to defend Yahya Jammeh. What has become of him? Zero. Dr. Samade is doing this for the same trend. Tell the president what is right. Then the president will do what is right. If he doesn't do what is right, you resign. But if you resign, you think if you resign, nobody will take care of your family. Before you are there, your family was taken care of. Give yourself excuse. Because you don't want to pay heed to your words and your advice. And ministers are there to advise the president, guide him. But no, ADAMA BARROW is not being guided by his ministers. In fact, they are dribbling him. Wallahi, Mr. President, if you can listen to oppositions, it will be very good for you. Because oppositions always point out your weaknesses. That is the beauty of oppositions in the country. They point out the weaknesses of the presidency, the weaknesses of the government. So if you are wise enough, you will develop the country very easily. Because what they talk about, what they talk about, what they say, and what they express is what is in them and what is happening in the country. Look at the brutal killings in the Gambia. Brutal killings in the country. The police have done all what they could do. They could not stop it. Police need civil. They need civilians to assist them. They need civil conniving with them to work harmoniously. If they don't have the civilian support, it becomes difficult for them. In the intelligence, we just say, look, hire an intelligent agent to serve on the ground as a ground worker, and you are there controlling what is happening. Are the NIS in the Gambia doing that, or the CIS doing that now? If they are doing that, then their agents are failing them. Because NIS already, Gambia is a bluffish institution. People, as long as you are NIA, they say, hey, small dumb, my child, beat them, ndima. They are NIS. People become afraid of them because they are taken as small gods of the country. NIA, the top management directors could be none. But all those working on the ground, the Spanish will call it trabajo de la terra. Those who are on the ground, we call them operatives. It's crazy in the Gambia. ADAMA BARROW, you should listen to people, listen to the oppositions. I think those men of wisdom like Lawyer Dabo, Amadou Sane, and host of others in the Gambia, you should try and listen to them very well. If you don't listen to them, I think you would end very bad, Mr. President. We don't want you to end bad like Yahya Jammeh did. But if you don't put yourself in order, the country would be in shambles. We don't want that. This is a very nice country. Less than 3 million people, as people would always say. Less than 300 people. 300 million. Less than 3 million people. Now, if we are less than 3 million people, to build that country, in fact, we can even fence the Gambia. You can fence the Gambia. The resources in the Gambia, the natural resources we have in the Gambia, and the human potential we have in the Gambia, Gambia would have been a Singapore. Dreams of Sadaura Jawara. Sadala tried his best, but the ministers were so corrupt to the core that he could not develop the country. But there was democracy and rule of law. Economy was booming. Food self-sufficiency. Gambia was self-contained at the time we had Jammeh. Jahali Pachars. The Chinese plots in Bansangs, buses, URR, CRR. Those areas were navigable areas. Those areas were agriculturally inclined areas, fertile land, arable lands for that matter. Sadoro Jawara did everything to make sure that Gambia became a self-food sufficient country. And it happens. People don't care about politics at the time. Why? Because Jawara had made so the schools had what you call feeding programs. Where I used to remember edible fat, cakes on Fridays, benekins, nice food were cooked for people. Breakfast on the crack wheat, you call it. You call it belly, crack wheat. The Bentley's supply to the Gambia. You call it the rice. The course was named after Mr. Bentley. You call it Bentley or belly. Crack wheat was there. Rice was there. Course was there. Flour was there. Students were enjoying. Nobody had interest in politics. Yeah, that was why Jawara stayed for long. Jammeh came, he started practicing it, but he could not because the intelligence is not there. Those who could have advised him right, he has sacked them, sacrificed some of them, jailed some of them, hibernated some of them from the country, exiled them. So he had no proper people to advise him. The intelligence don't even know what they are doing. Because Sadala became the president of the country through the Tasale. See, so Sadala became a president and he stayed longer in the country to serve the country. Jammeh could not because he had no surrogates to assist him, to guide him. This is what happens. Tasale. Okay, thank you. See, Jammeh had a problem because he had no surrogates, he had no people to advise him because people feared him. They thought he was a small god. The Muslims, the Christians, I will not mention, Christians were very steadfast and they were very rigid on their religion. They don't want to see this and this and this. No. Muslims, he controlled the Islamic calendar in the Gambia. He could not do what was good for him, what was good for the country. He came with a good heart. Jawara stayed longer. He said it's enough. He came. But he fell out with some of his people, Sana Sabalis and the Singates and the Haidaras. More especially is Haidara and Sabali. Sana Sabali. Saliu Haidara. May Allah have mercy on his soul. You see, Adam Barrow, Jammeh came, he couldn't do anything. Adam Barrow came. Adam Barrow was trying to see how best he can fix things, but when there was that hypocrisy, he sacrificed the best in his government. Dawa Ahmad Sani and others. At the end, he's now in that mess. How can you call me to go and work with somebody who doesn't want to see the progress of the country? We fought for that country more than Adam Barrow and you people who are there now today. We fought for that country more than you people. And we made sure that the Gambia was put on a very good footing. We went to jail. Our scholarships were seized, confiscated. Our properties, our compounds were seized, confiscated. Our families were disintegrated. We lost love of our families. At the end, we were exiled. So we fought against Jammeh's government from year 2000. Let's say from 1995 to year 2007. Range it over 10 good years we have been fighting against Jammeh as students. But nothing went right. They say if you're gonna beat them, join them. We had myself and Ibrahim Adiba never joined them. We had to abandon the country. Alaji Kamara, Omar Jufs, we had to abandon the country. The traditional saying is, if you're going to beat them, join them. We did not join them, and we are not going to join them. But the Jammeh has gone. Adam Barrow is here. We would have offered Adam Barrow good advices if he would listen, but he would not listen because people around him are the sycophants, are the traitors, are the cowards, are the betrayers. So they would like Adam Barrow to see the best part of it. They would like him to be only hearing their voice. When he hears their voices, and then there he will say, I'm on a good footing. Adam Barrow, the day of planning is different from the day of battle. The day of reckoning is coming. But he who pelted one with pebbles asks for rocks in return. If you think music is the food of love, play on. They call it the dissentious rocks will see the end of that nation, and their own end would be justifiable mean for their own actions. Your Excellency, Mr. President, 2 terms is enough for you in the Gambia. Don't go for 3 terms. If you go for 3 terms, it may not be good for you. And anything that happens to that country of ours, you may be responsible. So please, we want you to go for 2 terms and stop at that. Retire from politics. Sit at home. Enjoy what you have gathered. That is what I have for you, Mr. President. Thank you.